Hi everyone, welcome to my YouTube channel. Let's hang out and draw. This week I'm sharing my drawing with you because it's super fun to color, and sometimes that's what we have the time and energy for. We may not have time to create a full illustration, so I'm offering this download of the sketch that you can color, or you can use it as inspiration to create your own version of a girl and her horse. I do ask that if you post my illustration on social media, you please give me credit for the artwork. Thank you. You can tag me at CreatorAlma on Instagram and Facebook. I would really love to see your art. I chose a horse as a subject because I've been focusing lately on things that brought me joy as a child. And as I mentioned in last week's video, I loved drawing houses and horses when I was young. And as I get older, I want to create more experiences of childlike joy as much as possible. Joy builds on itself, and it gets stronger with practice. This is something I've learned over my many years of being here on the planet. Remember, whatever you focus on expands, negative or positive. Drawing and coloring as I watched cartoons was the absolute best. It didn't matter if I colored in a coloring book, it was always fun to make something my own, which is why I'm sharing this illustration for coloring. You can print this and color it with crayons, pencils, pens, or paint, or pop it into Procreate. Enjoy. I lived next door to horses growing up. The girl next door had beautiful long blonde hair, and she was a year older than I was. I really looked up to her. I thought of her as I drew this. I was always in awe of how comfortable and confident she was around her horses, and I loved watching her over the fence, the way her hair moved in the breeze as she rode. As our friendship grew, I had the opportunity to ride her horse, and I remember feeling how powerful the horse felt under me. I was incredibly afraid, in awe, and I loved it, all combined. I had all of these feelings about it. Unfortunately, later I did discover that I was really allergic to horses, but I never forgot how awesome it was to connect with her horse. And so later, when my daughter's passion for horses was ignited, I really wanted her to have the opportunity to ride. As I recall the things that brought me joy as a child, including drawing, I remember that woven into that joy was also confidence, but there was also fear sometimes, and definitely worry. Especially with my drawing, I worried that I wasn't as good of an artist as some of my friends. I stopped drawing around the 7th grade for this very reason. I think I believed that there was no room for me as an artist, and I know that it's easy to look nowadays at social media, especially Instagram, where there are so many talented artists, and one might feel that there isn't room. But I'm here to tell you that there is room. And all of those feelings that I had then, when I compared myself to my friends, are still very present when I look at other artists today. So the only difference is now I try to lean into the joy more like I did when I was a kid, which is something that has taken me a long time to develop. I took up art at 33 years of age, and a long time had passed, but all the same insecurities were still fresh, and I remember stopping and starting many times when waves of doubt were really strong. Fear would always get the best of me. If there was an art competition that interested me, I often shied away, convinced that my art wasn't good enough. But I kept going because I really did love to paint. I loved how peaceful it felt. I loved how fabric and paint looked together when I brought those two things together. And so I just kept at it. but leaning into the joy wasn't easy. My mind was relentless with negativity. And for me, it's common to also feel this underlying fear that when things are super good, that the other shoe is going to drop. But in my 30s, I was also a mom already, and I felt that I had to practice believing in myself if I wanted my kids to be confident and courageous. So what I learned over time is that mindfulness isn't so much clearing the mind or stopping my thoughts. It's more about not letting my mind control what I'm going to do, even if it is scary. Lately, I've been focusing on illustrations more, which has opened up a whole new world of possibilities, good and scary. And it kind of cracks me up now that even drawing a horse, which I probably drew over 100 of them as a child, can bring up feels that don't feel great because ... and this is my mind here talking, there are so many great illustrators out there. ... because I haven't drawn a horse in forever. Because what will people think that I'm a painter, but now I'm an illustrator too? Because it may seem like I'm all over the place. And I laugh because the fears are still the same as they were from forever ago. They're not original or special. They rear their ugly energy because that's just life. They're just a part of duality, the duality of life. As a child, I was great at ignoring fear and doing the next thing anyway that made me happy. But then somewhere along the way, and who knows when, maybe it was just a combination or an accumulation of different events, I gave fear more power along the way. This all may be obvious to you, but if you struggle with your creativity and sharing your art, know that you're absolutely not alone. Creativity does take courage, which implies that there are demons, or at the very least insecurities to overcome by its very nature. I say draw anyway, color, paint, be creative, because the joys will grow in strength. Joy, just like fear, does expand the more you focus on it, and the more you allow yourself to feel it and to trust it. So I want to know what brings you joy and how will you express it creatively? What does joy feel like for you? For me, it feels peaceful and exhilarating, especially when I discover new color combinations. Joy feels satisfying and fulfilling, like time is standing still and I'm in the moment, just happy to be doing exactly what I'm doing. I also feel joy when I'm challenged and I'm figuring things out, like with technology. Joy really has a lot of faces and it's different for everyone, but I'm curious what it's like for you in your creativity. Let me know in the comments below. In the meantime, have a great week, and if you enjoyed this video, thank you for giving it a thumbs up. Happy creating, everyone, and thanks for watching.